Up next, our speaker here is Nathan Vonnahme, Senior Software Engineer at Banner Health. Go ahead and give him a big round of applause.
Hey. Thanks. I'm hoping my voice will last. I'm fighting a cold that one of my kids gave me on Saturday. So I feel actually pretty good. I just sound terrible. So, and if you don't shake my hand, I won't be offended. I'm trying to make sure to wash my hands and do all that stuff. So, hi. I'm from Fairbanks, Alaska. It's a town of about 100,000 people in the middle of Alaska in the interior. And as I was getting ready, and I was realizing, going to other talks here and realizing that people come here from all over the place with so many different backgrounds. Some people are doing like real cloud stuff. Some people are doing, giant enterprise applications. I'm actually from a pretty small environment. I work at a hospital in Fairbanks. We've got 150 beds. We're the only hospital in half of Alaska, so it's important. It's 24/7 in a way that only healthcare is, but it's not enormous. And we're part of a bigger organization that operates hospitals in several of the western states, especially Arizona, and that's Banner Health. But we've got, you can read all the statistics. We have about 300 production servers. It's really hard to get an actual count, I found. About 3/4 are VMware servers. We have 361 VMware hosts, but I don't think very many of those are production, and a lot of them are desktops. So anyway, it's hard to nail that down. We have at least 400 apps. At least somebody calls it an app. And servers and apps run from, the giant mission critical thing that's on huge redundant Unix hardware, heavy metal with all the users in the hospital using it, to, something that one person uses for a billing pipeline that runs on their desktop. What else? We've been using Nagios since 2006, and I introduced Nagios because I could without a purchase order. Nagios Core, and I just did it. Actually, my coworker was on vacation, and he left me his checklist of all the things that he checks every day, and I was like, I'm not doing that. So I set up Nagios to do his checklist, and it's just, it's grown from there. In general, everyone thinks that their own software or their own vendor provides decent monitoring for their system. So I'm not going to argue with them. We just kind of, when there's an opportunity that Nagios could do it better, I say, we could do it this way and it would work. And so we've kind of grown over the years. And recently we've been starting with Nagios XI. Last year, I came and did a presentation here. And my presentation was called Monitoring and Test-Driven Development. And my coworker gave me this sample video of test driving a monitor. That was the best part of my presentation last year, and you just got it. The main meaning of the presentation last year is that I realized that monitoring tools are to the sysadmin what testing tools are to the developer. And so I tried to think, based on that central idea, I tried to flesh out what some of the developments in test-driven programming, test-driven development, extreme programming have taught the software development world, and tried to apply them to our situation. And I drew some conclusions. One of my conclusions, this was one of my slides from last year, is that Nagios is really good at kind of the unit test level of system monitoring. It can tell that your disk isn't full and your machine pings. It does pretty well, actually, at integration testing that thing A can get to thing B, and that the service dependencies are working and things like that. But user acceptance testing is maybe a weak area. That's something that Nagios hasn't traditionally, out of the box, done very much of. maybe a little bit with check HTTP. I also talked about Nagios not being a continuous integration tool. We don't, in our environment, we hardly build any software. I write software. I'm the only one who's kind of really writing a little bit of software, and most of the time we're buying things for billions of dollars and then trying to make them work. So Nagios has, you know, it's not like you're monitoring your own code. And Nagios has strengths for that, actually. We also talked about the quality assurance idea came actually out of manufacturing before it was a software thing. And one thing that's important in the quality assurance field is testing the end product, not just the beginning of the assembly line, but all the different points on the assembly line, and especially the end. You don't want to neglect the end product. So my presentation this year is just exploring the front end, the finished product. And the main idea this year is, can users actually use the finished product of your, whatever your IT service is, and does it suck? Those two things are availability and performance. So availability is important. You know, if, even if all your checks are passing, your database is up, your disk isn't full, and your server can ping, and your other server can ping, and your network is up, whatever, is your monitoring coverage proving that the user can use the system? Is it really available, even though all the things are green? And the second question, does it suck? Anybody know who this performer is? Famous bassist? Les Claypool? Yeah, and all Primus, yeah, but all Primus fans say Primus sucks. That's like their bumper sticker. That's their motto. Anyway, does the performance suck? The user doesn't care why it sucks. It could be the light show. It could be the bass playing. It could be the sound. It could be the person standing in front of them. But they don't care why. There are lots of reasons why something can suck. And it actually turns out that sucky software makes a difference in people's lives, a negative difference. Joel Spolsky writes about software, and in one of his essays on usability, he talks about what the difference between a good day and a bad day is. And one of his early jobs was baking bread. And he learned after a while that the difference between a good day and a bad day wasn't any one major event, but it was whether a series of small things went well or went badly, or whether there were little obstacles in the way, or whether he was in the flow. And when the software your users are using sucks, they can't get in the flow, they can't stay in the flow, they have a bad day, they get unhappy. In my industry, they're asking all the patients now, would you recommend this hospital to all your friends? And was it quiet? And was everyone nice to you? And they're actually, because of the healthcare reform, everything, both parties can agree that healthcare needs reform, so things happen. All those scores become public in a couple of years, and so consumers are going to be able to go look and see, well, this hospital gets bad scores, and it's because the nurses are mean, because the IT sucks. Well, they maybe won't have that much detail, but it could happen. So anyone know why this user is angry? No. Okay. So I'm going to look at two examples of where this thinking has driven me. Recently, I'm going to show how you can do front-end monitoring on an old Windows app, our main electronic medical record software, and a cooler, modern, AJAX-enabled website. Okay, so first, the legacy one. We use the Cerner electronic medical record software, and there's no real patient information here. If you're worried about